this is Marathon Cars. We've been asked to hire a car. This is probably going to try and get the car from to take back to the airport, hopefully. Looking back up there, the camera's just had a fit. So just looking back to the Basilico down there, one of the wagons is going, we're just going looking down towards the end of the thing. This must be a nightmare for these guys. So crossing each other in this tight space and There 1912 Greek creative cuisine. Let's have a look. Prices might be creative. Yeah. Well, I say Pefkos, an Irish pub. It's always an Irish pub. Always an Irish pub somewhere. Blue Dream Luxury Villas. I think we're going to put it on the last one. In the filming we're going a bit awry, but I just wanted to show this as well. If it's cut it out, because we ended up filming the floor for nearly 10 minutes because I pressed the wrong button and the camera had a fit. So just to mention that this is the crossroads in the main part of Pefkos, and 30 years ago when we came, this was a Chinese restaurant, and lo and behold, it's still a Chinese restaurant. So fair play to them to keep a Chinese restaurant going for that amount of years. Because when we came to Pefkos, that's what we realised, it was absolutely banging in the middle here. I think there's another one over the road. Oh, that's an Indian, I think. So obviously those of you who probably go to Jimmy's, probably seen this here. I've not, but we remember there were loads of stuff to do for kids here. If we'd have come with children at the time, before we had Joe, there were a load of bars that have like table football, everything. I don't know if they still do or not. Anyway, carry on walking down. Well, there you go, the Eclipse bar. That was all bouncing last time we came, people everywhere pouring all over the pavements and streets and everything down here. So obviously the Eclipse bar has been eclipsed by financial illegalities or whichever. But it's still a lively, bustling resort is Pefkos. If you really want a holiday, I think, especially in Greeceland, that's got a lot of amenities, and it's a bit, I suppose you could say it is a bit Las Americas, like is in Tenerife. No idea, Falaraki just looked, well, just Falaraki I presume, and it just looked what it is. But Pefkos is probably a bit more sedate. I think it gets it all because it's got a very, very good beach, I think. So can't judge a book by its cover, really. So, but no, just have a look back up there. Likes Motors, if you want a quad or one of them like a Polaris or a scooter. I wouldn't recommend them round here myself because I think there's too much traffic, but if you want to have a go, I'd stick to quads on smaller islands, a lot smaller islands where you can get to beaches and accessible places. Like I've shown from before, Santorini. The quad on Santorini is ideal. You can hire a car, but there's places you can park in Fiera and other places in Greek villages with a quad. So have a look back up there, carry on to Lardos. Just a word of warning guys, we haven't done it yet, we've not been enough. These are all parked, all cars. There's obviously Plaka Beach with golden sand down there. For a few euros, we're going to get one next time. Invest in one of them silver things for your windscreen so your car will be red hot. Just had to cut that last bit a bit short. People arguing amongst themselves as they're walking along, and I don't think we need to hear Brits arguing amongst themselves while we're walking along, do we? There we go, taxi drivers, top drivers, they all have mates. Looks quite good down on that beach, but like I say, it's very breezy today. It's bringing a lot of waves in. It's not exactly calmest sea to swim in. That's what we've got on the other side, up to the rocks and the big hills behind, as we march on towards Lardos. Really strange walking down there now, so I can remember now from just over the other side of Pefkos. See that? Thank you very much. Get close enough now. Anyway, just walking there to this part. Oh no, this rear. Oh no, this rear. This was just all open with cars and trucks and wagons and bits of building materials. Obviously none of that were there. It's all open. Even a hotel there now with all its rooftop on, and this. Obviously this looks like this was going or is going to be something, but seems to have been forgotten. Well, Corrali Palm Bay Resort there, I think obviously for the Corrali restaurant, so some of you know this now. When we came here 30 years ago, it was like this. This is how it was. And so there's all these new villas, obviously progress stops for no man. All those on the hillside, all those posh apartments, just leading down to the other part of the end of Lardos Beach, where there was a great seafood restaurant, whether it's still there or not. So we carry on down. Yeah, just looking at that, and a company called Blue Dreams there, they've got some more in Pefkos. They seem to have it worked out really well. They've got all the pools in front, all secluded and all facing sunset, and they've got sun all day, so they've done their homework properly. But then again, I can guarantee you'll pay for it. But then again, if you just want to chill out and don't move anywhere, which is the idea. Yeah. It has changed a lot in 30 years, but then again, seemingly so it should, I think. The locals will probably say not for the better. Those that come here regularly will say it has changed for the better. But like that, really fancy resort there. Modern, plush, all pools apiece. Okay. What are these ones called? Elements, luxury villas. There you go. So this says Sea Serenities Villas Pefkos. To us, there doesn't look to be anybody in them, and ones up there they don't look either. The middle one isn't even finished, so I assume it's not going to be more towels. Can't see any towels, anybody's beach towels, anything up there. Not if there's another one of them that's been sadly sort of finished but not finished. One there in the corner not even being completely started, and then obviously you've got this in front. So is this an omen? Are they going to build more? And they've gone under as well. Anyway, we're going over here, have a bit of a sit down and a drink with that view. In amongst 25,000 cars passing us when they want to cross the road as usual. See you in a bit. Yeah, well there you go guys, filming you back towards Pefkos. It hardly looks the resort it is from here. It just looks fairly sparse. Obviously when we were last here there wasn't any of that on the top of that hill. I think where Chris stays now, I don't think Pefkos Blue, I don't think it was there. But you can see where, obviously we can't see ours because we can see the new building that's going on there and the glass roofing that's going on and all that they're going to develop right to the edge. If you look on Google, on the map, someone, a lady's put her thing on showing all that without that, and I don't know whether it's going to get any higher. They don't usually like them building them more than 2 to 3 stories, and I wouldn't have thought on that peninsula, but by the way the diggers are looking and the IMAX, I think they're probably going to go right to the peninsula, so it's going to spoil that rocky outcrop, because we could have probably walked to the edge and jumped off and done a bit of swimming. and that looks like one of them massive walls, like a step and terraces. We're going to come down from that resort to its own beach. So yeah, a lot of villas around here now that obviously were never here before, but there's a villa complex behind me that I think up there, there's Crystal Bay here, apartments and studios, but I think there's one behind. I think it looks like there's two that haven't been finished, but it all looks plush apart from that, but I think it might have gone under. Obviously there's no beach here, it's all rock. So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a hotel here. I don't know if it'll try it, but when we were last here 15 years ago, not if I've been here twice, I think this used to be a little fish restaurant, a little tavern with some rooms behind it. It was never a 3-story thing like that, so I might be wrong, it might be a bit further around, but it's probably been developed since then. So it could be on the other corner, because there is a fishing boat moored up, and the guy that served all the fish he caught in the restaurant, so it might be further around. There's a lot of people in that restaurant there from above the beach. So there's a cargo ship just moored off, I think it must be Gennady area down there. So on to Lardos still. See you soon. Ta-da, to the beach. A sign in Greece that actually says what it means. So it's usually signs say to the beach, and they point in a direction that you have to go down 16 different roads until you actually find the one that goes to the beach. And also this sign as well, no entry sign, right? No entry signs, it says, right? No entry. But they stick them, you'll have 2 roads that way, one going that same way. You'll have 2 roads going the same way, and that'll be on one of them, so pick one. So there you go, you can't come in that way, you're not allowed out that way. So yeah, you watch, I guarantee you taxi drivers will do what they want on that one. So sometimes signs in Greece don't exactly mean what they say. Sunrise Bay, well that's where that taverna was at the back I think, so I'm going to go a little bit further on. Obviously none of this parking was here, it's obviously for the hotel here, so move on a bit. Well, something else that's cropped up, been built. Big hotel, Blue Bay group of hotels, Sunrise Beach, Sunrise Bay. So, yeah, I think it was even near a single track road this, and passing places with the buses. So I just wished I'd have had a camcorder or something back then to record all this, because I'd have loved to have put this on before and after. I know it's 30 years, but I don't even think you can. Well, those of you been to the Greek islands, you will do, because there's loads of you been going to the same place for years and years. Well, a lot of you don't now, because simple thinking, it's like we went to Skiathos for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden they say go to the bottom of the island and this Levy resort that's there, that's taken over the bottom of the island, and yeah, literally, yeah, huge complexes. More brand new villas, another company, Pefkos Residency. Well actually, just on the whole of that, I did look at one of them. Some people, middle of the day, they don't look Kenyan to me, so how we handle this heat doing that I have never known. First thing in the morning, yes, if you even noticed in Tilos there was a beach thing, I think I've mentioned it, a gym at the end, only open 7 till 10 in the morning, and then I think it was 8 till 10 at night. So But yeah, just to show you, up on that hill looking up there, this is what it looked like all the way down from Pefkos at one time, just like that. Just filming this. It hasn't a for sale sign on this ground or anything, but I'm assuming that they're test holes, not graves. They're not the same size as graves. I assume they're digging test holes for something. Either that or it's one ginormous mole, or they're going to bury somebody there. You never know. A lot of these people owe money around here. That's probably where they end up. Looking back up there. As usual, cars come in droves around here. As soon as I pick this camera up, here they come, one after another, after another, after another. As soon as I stop filming, it goes quiet. So I'll leave you with a picture of these graves and whatever they are, test holes. Yep, another bus. Another strange thing there. Just noticed there looks like there's some apartments there, and I can't tell, but they look brand new. Well, they're new, they definitely weren't here 30 years ago, but there's stuff blowing around. The balconies don't look well maintained, so that actually looks as if that's been derelict as well. And the sign that says privilege there, the Beach Hotel Resorts Livio, that sign is definitely not well kept. So there's a gate that's closed over it, so by the look of that, that's only been open a short time. Looks some kind of, but it looks eerie because it's painted black. I thought of a better colour. But another one, and that wasn't here definitely last time we came, so that's gone, finished in the last 15 years as well. There we go, guys, see stone villas. That were just farmers' fields up there, because I was going to walk across them one day, and the guy said that because he kept all sheep, and so I was going to walk up to the top of the hill up there, and I couldn't walk across because they were all farmers' fields this, and he kept goats, and they said, oh no, you better not until you've asked the farmer. I never saw the farmer, so there you go. Right guys, this is where we're coming in to where we stayed 30, well, between 15 and became 30 years ago and 15 years ago. Right. Supermarket is still there. Taverna, definitely not. Guy comes up there. So these two places on the other side of the road here, right, these were the only things that were running back then. The places behind weren't built. This definitely wasn't there. That was just a derelict at the time. That was just another place being ready to be revamped. Because if I'm right, and we're coming up to this part, the Bel Mari should be up here. Because these, the Poppies Garden, they were just to say being built, but nobody, I think they were still trying to find some money to put them together. Where the tavern, where the supermarket is there. This one was here, but it wasn't operating, it wasn't open at the time. Now, if I'm right, this is the Bel Mari, and it has had a mega, there was, so let's say, some rooms, these rooms were only open on the bottom floor. Now, that's been completely finished, which is brilliant. I'll show you some apartments. The supermarket, that's always been there. This is across to come right, the pool's here. They've just built the apartments behind, which I think have been demolished since, because they're not there anymore. So we've got the supermarket here. This was all where you went for your breakfast. That was a big room. And then we're coming to the supermarket. This is where the pool is, I think, for the Bel Mari. Here it is, look, this is the Bel Mari. It all used to be blue and everything. And let's say the bar has revamped itself. that was there, like I say, but we used to sit under there with Joe, but all that's been opened up. There's pools in front now, that were just garden, there were no fountains and anything. Twice as big as that, that's it, it was twice as small. It's been revamped completely now as a Bel Mari. Now, I'll swap over to the other side of the road. That hadn't even been built, where the market is. There's nothing there. Now, there used to be 2 tavernas over here. And we used to, I think it was a guy called Sturgos used to work at one. If you're watching this ever from Sturgos, if you remember all them years ago, he used to work over here at the Bel Mari on the pool bar during the day, and he'd work over at the restaurant at the other night. So, but I'll just film that in a minute. I'm just going to have a wander into this one, just into the Bel Mari, just to ask a question. Now this has changed. Well, there you go. Lardos, the second son, still works here in the evenings. The hotel has been sold. Obviously it's an Indian guy, they've got it by all accounts, and they've spent a fortune. They've put all these ramps in, these pools at the front, there's private pools at the front. It just used to be a really small little complex of just normal little rooms. I just remember, because when we used to go there, George, who ran it, I've got a photograph. I'll try and get that photograph and put it on the thing later on, and I'll try and mix it in. I'll take a photograph of the photograph I have and show me with George where the pigeonholes were. Obviously in there now I've filmed it, it's all been revamped, the restaurant, everything. You were able to sit out here, but you had the breakfast over there, a different place. But no, they put private pools at the front, everything. So yeah, really, really weird. And another sad story, this here. Obviously standing, that's the Bel Mari. Obviously a supermarket over there, which wasn't there. It was just 3 buildings. There were 3 buildings at the back that were ready to go. So obviously cocktails, live games, sports bar over there now. That was just literally, that was just one taverna there, and it was all open right through. They've put all things in it because the supermarket wasn't there. It was just a taverna there, a clothes shop and a boutique there, and a few others, and they've revamped that now, so it's all basically 2 tavernas, a cocktail bar. There's even a rent-a-car. There wasn't a rent-a-car there at all. Couldn't get a rent-a-car. It was down the end here at the end of this building. But this was Mike's taverna. I don't know if he's passed away or not, but he left and went back to America, because all there were Mike's taverna and 2 tavernas over the other side of the road, and that is what there was. Over 30 years when we first came, that was it here. There's nothing else. Supermarket wasn't here. Side of this wasn't there. There was just a bit of a shop here that did, I think it was a bit of a garage. Obviously it still is now. We've got these little mini marts for rent. There was like, I think it was like a shop that sold souvenirs and things at this end. Supermarket wasn't here. That was just a row. Had apartments above it, but it was just a row. There was no coverings on it, anything. It was just a taverna. It was all very posh because it was all open and white with 2 boutiques, and we just tried to start off making a do. And then when we walked down here, there was a load of pine trees, and then this thing landed. This is one of the biggest all-inclusive around here, and this landed with a vengeance within 15 years. 30 years ago, when we came back after 15 years, this was it. And one of them, it has going on at night, it was full of Italians and Greeks, and they had live music up by the swimming pool around the corner. So now there's this across the road, that wasn't there. Nothing across the road at all, nothing. Now it's an hustling, bustling metropolis that's virtually connected to Pefkos. So yeah, none of that there. Well, none of those apartments over there, no walls, nothing. It was just a bit of open land. We're going to walk into Lardos. We're going to stop for a drink, I think, if we can. But as we walk down here, if you keep going round, there's a mini golf and it's still there, so we're going to go and have a look at that. There you go, Sun Beach, Lardos. It's just a bit of walk just through the pine trees, meander down to the beach here. Now Flames Grows Cocktails got another one there, another massive resort on this side. So there's just a few little hotels, little apartment blocks there. We wandered through. I mean, the only thing you will say, from a point of view of us as nostalgia reasons, I presume it is provided a hell of a lot of employment, because this was the biggest bizarre thing that we saw when we came here. This was one of the first things, this like mall thing here, it's like something you'd see in Vegas. All these poles, I mean the trees have grown up a fair bit since, because all you could see was it just looked like a coliseum, like something you'd see like an artificial thing that you'd see in Vegas, see what I mean? It's part of the hotel and everything, and there's like a mall in the area in it, but yeah. And we were staying at a little 2-star Bel Mari up there, which also now has fallen victim to it. There was all this, there was nothing down here, nothing. Yeah. So all this here, rent-a-cars, nothing on the way down to Lardos, the village, virtually separate down to the original village of Lardos. Because it surprised us, because when we walked through there to the beach, a little kiosk on the beach, and we didn't realise, and they were firing drinks out for fun with the little guns. We wondered what it was, and it was all inclusive, wasn't it? One of the first that ever hit here. But the Germans and Germans, Italians and Greeks loved it, absolutely loved it. So just try to find somewhere to stop and have a drink, but I don't think there is anywhere at the moment, unless we won't go all the way down to the beach. But that's the car park for this huge hotel that's already here. There you go, we even got Lardos go-karts in 1 kilometre. So that was a new one. So that's the last part, Lardos there. Those weren't even there was nothing. And we used to walk down here the last time, because Joe was with us. Not the first time, because it wasn't there then, but if it's there still, and according to Google Maps it is, there's a mini golf down here, sort of like in the middle of nowhere, but it was really good. And I think if I get a photograph, I'm going to get a photograph of me and Jackie, each one of us on the podium, and I'll try and put the one on from all those years ago with me, Jackie and Joe, which the owner took. And at the time we were there, we were the only people there playing it. It was that. Obviously there's not many people around here then, so I bet it's absolutely heaving today. But at least it's a bit better walk. There's a pavement now. There wasn't a pavement back then, it was just the side of the road. So, but then again, it wasn't as busy. So see you in a minute. There you go. With Julian, you're watching from Right Wine Company back in Skipton. There you go. There we are, we've got a new road up there as well. Put a new road in so you can get to Zinardi. It must be a bit of a bypass from, like say, coming round from Pefkos. So guess what's coming now? Yeah, local wine, spirits and Greek beers. Now, if it weren't so far away, that'd be ideal. And there you go. Sorry, that last one got cut off a bit soon as well, because I've never known that. Say it's just like stood in the middle of roads. There's that much traffic. When we used to play, this is where that mini golf is. I'm going to go across the road where I can actually get across the road. There must have been maybe 2 cars past here, and we went across here. So now we're going to get run over by quads and God knows what. Here we go. There's the mini golf, and it's virtually the same, I think. So I'll just get further up so I can show you a certain part. I don't think we're going to bother, but like I say, oh, there's not many people on it as well. There's only a couple of people on, so I don't think they've played it. But The podium's still the same over there, and it has a little bar area, so everybody's welcome. It's a man-made one, and it doesn't seem to have suffered much in the last 30 years. At some point, it's the only thing that doesn't really look like it's changed, does it? So this looks like it's just the same as when we last brought Joe when he was about 4. But we've got a picture with all three of us on that podium there. So I'm going to see if we can dig that photograph out. I'm going to go around in a minute and take a photograph of it, and then I can put it against the one from 15 years ago. So I'll just nip in and take a quick, well, a